In this video, I'm going to be talking about one of the scariest and most unfair things about how domestic violence charges work in Los Angeles. My name is Veronica. I am a criminal defense attorney, and I help people who have been arrested put their criminal cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their future. And again, this video is going to be about why the way that the Los Angeles County justice system works with regard to domestic violence charges is absolutely terrifying. So let's say that it is Saturday night. I've had 2 glasses of wine, maybe I'm on my third, and I get into a fight with my boyfriend and I start yelling at him, right? And he's not a yeller, he's a sweet guy. It would be me that's getting a little bit crazy versus him, but nobody's hitting each other. Nobody's hurting each other. I'm just yelling at him. We just get into a fight. It just gets heated. He's not doing anything. It's only me, but a neighbor hears and decides to call the cops. So the cops come out, they knock on the door. We answer it, and I explain, no, officer, nothing's going on. I probably shouldn't have had even that second glass of wine tonight. I was just yelling at him. There's nothing here. There's no problem. You guys can just leave. They're not going to leave. So how it works is that at that point, what they'll probably do is they'll talk to him. He would probably, he's heard me talk about this stuff enough that he probably would not make a statement. And then they would arrest him, not me. And let's say that I'm like, hey, no, wait, if anything, arrest me. Just take me. Don't take him. If anybody was doing anything wrong, it was me. He didn't even yell back at me. They're not going to care. Chances are that they are going to arrest him anyway. And I have fair skin. I bruise easily. We have mosquitoes in the yard. I'll usually have at least some kind of cut or bruise on my body at any given moment. And let's say they look at me and they're like, hey, where did that, your arm looks a little red there. Where did that come from? And I say, look, I don't know. I probably bumped into something. I'm clumsy. I'm pale. Or, maybe I had a mosquito bite and was scratching myself. I don't know. What they're going to do is they are going to charge him with a felony. They are going to charge him with PC 273.5A, which is corporal injury to a spouse or cohabitant, as a felony. And his bail is going to be $50,000. And if it's Saturday night, his options are wait until Monday to see if the DA files charges against him. Maybe they won't, and they'll just let him go after he spends Saturday night, all of Sunday, Sunday night, Monday morning in absolute misery in jail. Or, I can spend $5,000 or so to bail him out. Money that, by the way, he can never get back. I can never get back if I have that money. If I don't have it, he has no choice. He just sits there in absolute misery, even though he did nothing wrong. And then let's say that the DA decides that they are going to file charges against him. Maybe I bond him out, maybe I don't, but the DA decides that they are going to file charges against him. Well, now we are going to go to that first hearing. And at this point, I'm going to be fired up. I'm going to be pissed, right? Why are they doing this? They've cost us so much money as a couple. We want to be together. There was no domestic violence. If anything, I was the aggressor. When we go to that first court date, I'm going to try to talk to the DA, right? Let's say I'm not a lawyer. I'm going to try to talk to the DA. And I'm going to say, hey, I don't want to prosecute this. I want to drop these charges. Nothing happened. I try to explain to them. They don't even listen to me. And what they will do, and this is in every single case, what the DA in Los Angeles will do, is they will ask the judge for a restraining order so that my boyfriend and I cannot be together. It's actually a separate criminal charge if he were to call me, text me, live with me. And I'm thinking, well, shit, I need him here. I need him to pay half of the rent. What if we have kids at home? I need him here. And I miss him. I don't want him to be gone. And what if it's been maybe months, but I did bond him out, and it's been months between the time that I bonded him out and the first court date. We've been living together. I apologized. I felt terrible for causing this to happen, and nothing happened, and there was no restraining order that whole time. It was all totally peaceful. It was great. We're happy. At that first court date, nobody gives a shit. What they're going to do is the DA will ask for the restraining order, and the judge will grant it. Now, as an attorney, going back into attorney mode, I have some other videos that are really important to watch if you find yourself in this situation. If you're the defendant and you have that time before the first court date, you need to get yourself into domestic violence classes. And go watch that video to make sure you're in the right type of domestic violence classes. As the victim, there are certain things you can do at the first court date. Sometimes all of that doesn't even work. And then the real bullshit, and of course there are policy reasons. They always blame O.J. Simpson's case for this whole policy. But the real bullshit is that the DA will be asking for this restraining order, right? We have to protect Veronica. She's a victim. Even though she says she's not a victim. She's definitely a victim. We need to make sure that the two of them can't live together. They can't send heart emojis on text. Nothing. No contact between these people. That same DA, this same day, will, if asked, give a plea offer to my boyfriend's attorney that allows us to be together. It would drop down the restraining order to a level 1, which means that he can contact me. It just can't be harmful or offensive contact. The same as, the same terms everybody is under living their daily lives. If he takes a deal. So they're using his relationship with me and desire to come home and my need for him to be here against him and trying to get him to take a plea deal. They don't care about me. They don't care about victims. They're just using this as another way to stack the deck against defendants to try to get them to plead guilty to things that they didn't do. And what if I didn't have that first $5,000 or so to bail him out? He probably would be forced to either take a plea deal at the first court date, or months and months could go by and he would be there in absolute misery in jail, having done nothing wrong, waiting for the day when he can see a jury and hopefully convince them that he's not guilty. And I would hope myself too that I could convince them that he's not guilty. But what if the jury looks at me and they say, I think that something did happen. I think he did abuse you and you're just trying to cover it up because you need him home to pay half the rent. Now, if it's a 273.5A felony charge, he faces up to 4 years in prison. So that's all some bullshit. That is how the domestic violence charges work in Los Angeles County. And, many times family, friends won't really understand, why do I fight these domestic violence cases? Aren't I a feminist? I'm a female criminal defense lawyer. Why would I help women beaters? But look at what the system is. Most of my clients, if anything, I believe we're acting in self-defense, holding back someone like me that can get a little bit crazy sometimes. Not all. Sometimes there was domestic violence, but the way that they treat this system, the way that they treat these cases in the system, the way that they treat victims and really don't give a shit about them and just treat them like pawns, makes me want to fight these cases. So that is a terrifying truth. People who experience this, and if you're watching this video, you may have just experienced this for the first time, are shocked that this is what the system is. But it's true. And if you're not in this situation and you just happen to be watching this video, take this as a precaution, because I know that if I start yelling, like I said, I can get a little bit crazy. My boyfriend's just so sweet and wouldn't yell, but I have to remember, you know what? I don't want to find myself in that situation. So I had better just keep it down. I really don't want any police involved in my relationship. I don't want them messing up my life, my boyfriend's life, any of that. Anyway, I hope that this video helped. I hope that it at least provided a little bit of information. And of course, there are things that we can do as defense attorneys to fight back against this. But it's interesting just what bullshit the whole thing is. Anyway, if you have a criminal case in Los Angeles and you do need help from a criminal defense attorney, you can book a consultation with me down below. You can also find my number there and feel free to give me a call.